everyone? Welcome to the Overheard podcast. We're here live in the studio. Got my co-host as always.
Yo, Matty Rage, let's go.
Matty Rage is here. We got a very special guest this week. We got Marcel.
Let's go.
Hey, guys.
Welcome to the pod, brother. It is Tuesday, February 27th. We're here with a very interesting guy. We got Marcel here. Been a Banff local for a very, very long time. You might have seen him around town at the Magpie. You might have seen him at the skate park. You might have seen him on the disc golf course. Lots of places you might bump into Marcel. How you doing today, bud?
I'm doing good.
Nice.
Yeah.
How's the week?
I had a good week.
Anything exciting?
Did the snowboarding, and I played one round of disc.
The old disc.
Winter disc. That's cool, man.
Damn.
I'm down with the snowboarding. Finally, some snow in the forecast for us outdoor enthusiasts here. Yeah. Winter disc golf, huh? Mm-hmm. Oh, the hands. You use hand warmers or what?
It sucks first two holes, and then you kind of forget about it because you're probably angry. And then it's just disc golf.
Just dealing with like the 40-mile-an-hour wind out here in the winter. It's got to be brutal.
Kind of depends where we're playing. I feel like Nordic's pretty covered from the wind, but if you're at Three Sisters on a windy day, you're toast. But yeah, we'll dive some more into some disc golf stuff later.
How was your week? Better question. Dave.
My week was pretty good, pretty busy between working on this. We did an interview yesterday.
Oh right, yeah.
Between snowboarding and work, and yeah, just feeling a little bit.
The legs are burning.
Legs are burning, feeling sore in places I forgot existed, which is kind of nice. It's a good sore though. You did something right.
You're just getting old, that's all.
Yeah, I don't know. Depends who you ask, right? 30's the new 20.
Is that it? Is that what they say?
That's what they say, man. That's what they say.
Who's saying that?
I don't know. I had someone I bumped into that I hadn't seen in a while told me I was aging in reverse the other day, so that was a very nice compliment.
That's probably because you're not drinking anymore.
It might have something to do with it. We'll see. I think it's getting good night's sleep for sure.
Oh, yeah. See, there you go. You get a good night's sleep. That never happens to me.
How's your week? You been having good night's sleeps or what?
Yeah, I'm hungover as shit though. No, I was good. I had some family in town last night, chilling out. Haven't seen a number of years.
Nice.
And other than that, man, just work straight up. It was a busy week. It was that family week deal. So
yeah, true. Town is getting busy. I think for the next 2 or 3 weeks, it's going to be reading week, March break. I don't know. Kids are off. Teenagers are off. Adults are off.
Can I have time off?
No.
Oh,
you live in Banff.
Oh god.
So we started off, Marcel. We got a couple of posts that we grabbed from your Facebook here. Part of the reason we want to have you on, just kind of a funny voice out of the town of Banff. Very creative use of social media, in my perspective. First one here.
Oh, sick.
Digging in the crates.
Yeah.
Now this isn't Leonard Decoy, but I don't know. Can you tell us a little bit about this guy?
Well, the chicken, that's my dad's chicken. We're in Montreal. We're at a bar, McSomething's, that my dad's friend has worked at for 40 years or something like that. Margot is her name. And
the chicken's name is Margot.
Nope, we're in the bar. I don't know. That's just chicken. I think the chicken's name is Chicken. And the owl is just some funky mask that I found and carried around Montreal for the day. Nobody seemed to notice. Love that city. And it eventually ended up in my yard for about 2 years before I started peeling bits of it off of a chunk of ice in my backyard.
Nice.
Yeah.
You just had it chilling in the backyard.
I just thought this was a cool photo. I didn't know there was such a backstory.
Oh, God. That was in Montreal?
Yeah.
That's sweet. I've never been.
Rocking a very different facial hair than you are now, too. Always interesting choices in the facial hair, Marcel.
Yeah, man. He's always got oh, yeah, you don't have the... Last time I saw you, I think you had the curly stash.
That's a bitch to just rock all the time.
I know.
Yeah, it's got a real serious shelf life for me.
I feel like it makes sandwich eating terrible, just having to pull strands out of there.
Sandwiches?
Accurate. It's, burgers and stuff.
Oh, yeah, burgers, tacos,
yeah,
sandwiches.
anything that you're
anything that you got to bite,
basically.
Yeah. Mucking.
I used to have a big old beard.
Just muck and mustache.
Yeah.
That'd be a good name for a YouTube channel. Muck and mustache. And that would be part of the thing. You'd constantly...
Maybe like an OnlyFans or something.
OnlyFans. There you go. Mustache muckers.
Mustache muckers.
Yeah, that's
Let's
gross.
move on to the next one here. So one of the first posts that I noticed Marcel post was the googly eyes. There was the moose that you did. There was the Bill Pato sign. This is the memorial to the Bill Pato sign, is it not? I think the caption here reads, R.I.P. Bill Pato, the revisited. I'm sure after your first boring death of cancer on May 23rd, 1944, you'll be happy to know that you died again 80 years later in a frickin' forest fire.
Yeah. I wanted an appropriate send-off, so I hired those firefighters to do that.
Awesome.
It was cheap.
It was cheap.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah, so I noticed that the fire didn't really make it too much farther than the sign, right? So that's probably the reason.
Yeah, it was textbook.
We're touching a little bit on that fire in our next week's episode. We want to give you a little preview this week for those that are listening in. It's 2 googly eyes stuck in the ground. For those that don't know, Marcel posted some googly eyes on the Bill Pato sign at the beginning of town. How many years ago was that? Like, it's got to be.
Was that last summer?
That was like round 3 last summer.
Like round 3 as in the third time you did it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was, no, even before. I think I was still drinking. So maybe like 6+ years ago.
6+.
Because I also threw a COVID mask on him during one of the lockdowns.
Right on. You got to keep Bill safe, you know? He was protecting our town for a long time. Mm-hmm. R.I.P. to Bill Pato.
Oh, God, it's great. I remember driving by and seeing this and was like, who ever the fuck did that? It's absolutely awesome. Right?
I feel like the googly eyes kind of became your trademark after a few, like, after the moose, I was like, every time I saw googly eyes, Petey told me a story about at the Rosencrantz, someone went googly-eyed, the salt and pepper shakers, and they called you immediately. It was like, dude, did you get our salt and peppers?
Yeah, it wasn't me. No, not the salt and pepper shakers.
He would definitely take credit for that. But where do you get googly eyes that size?
Oh, the dollar store, RIP.
We're getting another one, are we?
I believe, yeah. I think it's the Dollarama is going in the Cascade Plaza.
Ooh.
Finally,
I'm going to go get me some googly eyes. That's what I'm into.
So watch out. This might start a trend of
serial
googly eyes coming back here.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a whole thing, dude. You don't even know. You want to move on to this next one? Because this is absolute gold.
That's what I was kind of giggling at looking at the next post, not going to lie. So here we got Taco Fresca. This is a picture of Marcel looks like submarine in a pool holding a hot dog. You want to elaborate on this first, brother?
The pool is a beach off of Isla Mujeres in Mexico. And that's just the kind of stuff you have time to do when you're not hungover all the time.
So not a pool, a very natural pool called the Ocean, probably.
Ocean.
At a beach.
Did you eat the dog in the water?
I mean, I didn't get out of the water, but I didn't submerge the dog to eat it.
Okay. You think like that's like the food competition guys? They'll like dip their dogs in water so they can eat them faster. But I think that'd be gross with like ocean water, be all salty.
What's that guy's name? The pro dog eater.
Oh, the Asian guy. He's like some skinny little Asian guy. He's
American
insane.
Guy.
Oh, I don't know. I was
thinking
like
about the guy who like eats with the bear.
No, there's like some skinny little Asian kid that just like mangles like hot dogs. I don't know. I got into a YouTube hole the one night just watching stupid.
Because every year there's the hot dog eating competition at Coney Island, and I feel like there's one American dude that rips it up and destroys it. If anyone's in the chat and knows who I'm talking about, yeah, I thought maybe you were training for a hot dog eating competition.
I'm into a good Coney.
What?
I'm into a good Coney dog.
A good Coney dog. I don't know about the saltwater bun though.
No, well, Coney's already good enough on its own, I guess, right?
I mean, yeah.
Was it a
it's
Coney
pretty
dog?
salty.
What were the toppings?
The one topping they had, ketchup.
That was it.
That was it.
They don't have mustard in Mexico?
But it was like a buffet. Like I could have taken 14 hot dogs and put it on one bun and probably been much more buoyant.
So maybe just for next time.
Now I know.
Yeah, now you know that. You're like, well, I can take all the dogs I want. Yeah. Just grab a handful of glizzies. Just take them out to the beach. Start handing them out.
Why not? Whatever will keep you buoyant. If the dogs will keep you buoyant before or after, man, I'm a pro dog.
Fill your pockets with as many hot dogs as you can at the buffet. And then it'll be like, they're like water wings for your pants.
I don't think there's any more leisurely a food than hot dogs. Like, I enjoy them on the golf course. Beach dogs are great. You know, corner on the street in Montreal or Toronto is a good street dog. Very versatile food.
The shell.
We need street dogs in town.
No, I don't think they want that because like
They just don't want us to have fun.
well, no, they don't want food trucks and stuff like the beaver tails effect. You notice the beaver tails doesn't have a garbage in it, so the napkins end up all over Banff Ave.
I did not.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Really?
I think with food trucks, that's kind of the thing is people are eating outside. Like if you put napkins on a table in the wind and they just start.
Yeah, good point. But I could go for a street dog either way.
Gotta go to the city, bro.
Gotta go to the
Go
city.
to a Flames game and get yourself a street dog for sure.
Well, moving on. This next post made me a little less hungry, I guess, after. It's still on the topic of dog.
So this one reads, it looks like he's got a ball of, we'll say hash, but it says, absolutely every dog owner when they forget to bring a baggie. Now write your name.
I like the hashtags smear, graffiti, girlfriend, dog, and poop. I don't know where girlfriend in there came from, but would you care to elaborate on this for us?
Well, that's my friend 80. And this was just an adventure, and we straight up found some mud on the side of a river. I forget if it might have been in Golden. I think it was in Golden. And yeah, I don't know. You just got to grab some clay and rub it in your hands and then tell the internet it's poop.
I think that's something that a lot of people are getting away from, getting their hands dirty and going out and kind of playing on adventures. That's one thing that I think we lose as adults. But I think this post is kind of funny, and I thought it was cool to include just so, go out there and have some fun. Roll some poop in your hands, whatever.
Yeah, do whatever you want. Man. Just as a disclaimer, guys, this is not real poop. It's not poop. It's just
it's
clay. I mean, you can roll poop if you want, but then you got to bring hand wipes. There's a whole procedure afterwards.
Yeah, you're gonna have to have some.
It's like that. It was like that club
afterthought.
he was talking about earlier.
Oh God,
Yeah,
we'll get into that in another episode. For sure. Let's move on to the interview here. Enough about that. Let's dive into a little bit about you personally, Marcel.
Okay.
Now, oh my God, back to the chat here. We couldn't see it for a little bit. Is this Pornhub? Not yet. Maybe we'll see where this interview goes.
If that's something you guys are into, we can start charging for content. That's great.
Marcel's like, you gotta pay me way more. Dude.
Way more.
So we're gonna start with, where are you from, Marcel?
Born in Edmonton, but I grew up in Nova Scotia, Antigonish, Nova Scotia.
Okay, nice. East Coaster.
Yeah, as is Goosetronics. Hey,
nice.
Buddy.
There it is.
What up, Goosetronics?
there's in the
Goosetronics
chat.
says, I used to eat poo with Marcel in high school. Antigonish, ew, what up, Goosetronics in the chat. Thanks for joining us.
Oh God. Well, how did you guys end up out there?
My mom was going to school.
Oh, cool.
And so she started going to school in St. FX. My dad had some magical summers back in the day out there and had some friends. So just to the best of my memory, that's kind of what lined up and made sense. So
Sweet.
we put
Cool.
me, my brother, and my sister in the car and our dog Muttley and drove across the country.
Nice. How was it? How was East Coast?
Super cool place to grow
Yeah.
up.
Nice.
You get to see a lot of closed-minded, small town BS, 100%. But Antigonish had that huge university there, so a lot of that outside influence that kind of made you go,
Right.
why did that guy just be nice or whatever? Why is he wearing those clothes or stuff like that?
Cool. And you were out there. You lived there until you moved to Banff then?
No, Antigonish, 13 years out there, then moved to Halifax for a few years,
Cool.
and then got involved in a government volunteer program called Katimovic.
Oh, right. Cool.
Yeah,
I've
you've heard of it?
Yep.
I've seen the commercials growing up for sure.
Yeah.
I was looking into doing that when I was younger. It looked like a pretty cool deal.
It's really cool, and it's just one of those things where it's like, here's a whole bunch of rules, but a whole bunch of opportunity. And if you're down with that, this is going to be really cool.
Yeah.
I was super down with that. And then we had some people that were just like, man, this is BS. And it's like, they have a really good point because you're living under government rule
Yeah.
in the house.
Yeah, no doubt.
And 10 strangers you've never met before in your life. So it has its challenges, but it's super worth it in the end for me and many other people I've met who completed the program. So
That's awesome.
and then after that moved to Banff,
Nice. What year was that?
2006.
Oh, so you've been here a while.
Yeah,
Jeez, you were here a while when I moved here. Even that's crazy.
Goosetronics. I grew up with him. He was living in 1203 Northwoods. That's where I moved.
Oh,
And
nice.
that was my first place right here in this building.
Oh, that's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right, full circle, eh?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
He wasn't. It was Josh Roy is the guy who was beckoning me to
The
come
old
out to
crackers.
Banff.
Okay, so you knew him before you moved out here.
Yeah, we were buddies back in Halifax.
cool.
He taught me to binge drink.
Big shout out to Josh Roy. Big shout out to binge drinking.
Binge drinking champ. Oh God. That's great.
We had each other's backs.
Yeah.
So he got me out here. He was like, dude, party, mountains, let's go. And then I found out that Angus was living out here. And then it turned out that my room with Josh wasn't ready. So I ended up here with Angus.
Nice. Were you stuffed in the closet?
No, my girlfriend and I were on the couch.
Oh, even better.
Upgrade from the closet. My first apartment was living in the other building at Northwoods here. In the closet for sure.
Dude. Well, when I moved in here, what happened? I took over a lease from some Australian kids or something. They were still living here for like 3 weeks, so I basically moved all my crap into the living room, and it was a friggin' nightmare. And then I took over the lease and kicked everybody out.
I think
like,
classic story
yeah.
for sure. And here we are today.
Like the girl I took the lease over from, and she's like, "Oh, my ex-boyfriend lives in the other room. Don't kick him out." I'm like, I don't care. I don't like this kid.
Goosetronic said I had 2 apartments in Northwoods at the same time. One dedicated to playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Is this true?
Goosetronics?
Yeah.
I think I remember
It was-
Goosetronics. I've been to a couple parties up at his place
Nice.
back in the day for sure. My buddy Andy, my roommate, used to hang out with him quite a bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you would have.
Yeah, big time.
I don't know if I've heard
He
that.
basically had so many people on couches that it was just like he just took out another apartment here.
Awesome.
It used to be pretty lax back in the day with who you could have on your lease. It was basically just if they can walk into the door of your apartment and sit down, then they could be on the lease. That's
They could
pretty much
stay
how
there.
it went. Oh, it was wild back in the day.
So did Josh Roy lure out here with you at the promise of partying or what? Or did you come to ride? Did you come
I was doing a lot of snowboarding back in Nova Scotia, which
Okay,
is
cool.
tough to do. But I was doing it and we were partying and we were snowboarding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we weren't snowboarding on mountains. So we just kind of took out that trying to snowboard in Nova Scotia factor.
Yeah, fair.
And then came out to the mountains. Like it just made sense.
Very
It was a big move. And that volunteer program was 9 months. So I pretty much shut down operations in Nova Scotia, traveled around Canada for 9 months, and then kind of went home and said, "Hey, good to see you, Dad. I'm going out west."
Nice.
So you kind of like got the traveling bug with that Katimavik group, you would say, or
It just kind of it uprooted me,
okay, cool.
and it was just a
Cool.
really easy move to just jump ship and
Yeah, I
make
think that's
my way out here.
Well, that's a big step for a lot of people moving out of your hometown. You know what I mean? Like, I know a lot of my homies back home. There's no way they would ever move out of that town. It's just you get that, you just get stuck in that vibe, right? Like that's where you're born, it's where you grew up. It's your
For
family's there. For a lot of people, that's not something that they really consider just blasting off out west. Like pretty much everybody in town did.
Well, I feel like in Banff specifically, that's what a lot of us have in common is like we're not stay-at-home people. We're
Yeah.
all get out of town people,
Yeah.
go traveling
We
people,
wanna go
go
do-
have
yeah,
an
do something.
adventure people. You know what I mean?
Well, that makes sense. So, what are you doing for work?
I work at the Magpie and Stump
Nice. You've
Big
been
shout
there forever.
since 2007.
Oh, man.
Jeez, man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Goosetronic says, did y'all know Marcel is a busker and a talented musician? I
Yes.
did know that just from
Yes.
following your kind of social media stuff. I've seen you over the years. Maybe not the busking side, but I have seen you play some instruments over the
Oh yeah,
years.
I've seen a good jam over at the house there.
for sure.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thanks, Goosetronics.
Kind words, Goose. Kind words.
I've juggled a lime or two.
Oh god.
So yeah, working at the Magpie and Stump. So did you work in restaurants before you started working there? Or was that your first kind of introduction into restaurant work?
Actually, that's how Josh Roy and I met. He was on his way out as I started working at the Galley Buffet in the casino in Halifax.
Okay.
But he's just moved to a different restaurant in the casino. So like out here we work in different places, but back there we were both taking naps in the cafeteria together.
Yeah, very similar setup.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Goose says, I seen Marcel fart 100 times in a row when we were school kids.
My dad was so pissed. He kicked in the door and was just like, go the fuck to bed. Like, it was the laughter my dad could hear, but, you know.
That sounds like a great
He would have
time.
been a different story if he could have just heard the farts.
I'm sure he would. Like, everyone likes a good little fart joke. You know what I
He
mean?
was so mad. Even Goose agrees. Like, he was angry.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
A little
Oh, yeah.
reminiscing in the chat here.
One of my buddies' dad back home, we used to call him Grambo because his name was Graham, but he used to get like we'd party there and like we were pushing it. Grambo would come flying in, and you'd hear the door open. You're like, Grambo's here, turn it down. And then he'd come flying up the stairs. Like, everyone out. That's it, man. No more partying. He was my buddy's dad. He was English.
No more farting.
No more farting.
Yo, get this. I mean, I'll confirm with Goosetronics here, but I'm pretty sure our buddy Graham was in the room when that happened.
There you go, Graham stories. Who's got a good Graham story? Pass one over.
He was.
We have confirmation from the chat. Thanks, Goosetronic.
Thanks, Goose, for confirming that. Oh God, we got Graham in the house. It's gonna be a good day, buddy. It's gonna be a good day.
Of course. So yeah, Marcel, you do both front of house and back of house. I've seen you like posting videos from the back of house every now and again.
The back of the house was actually just I was basically too broke to get my shift taken to go for dinner with Josh Roy. And so then he was just too busy in the days to getting disking done like before, during, or after his birthday. So I just rocked up at 8 a.m. and just helped him do his prep list all day to get him out of there so we could go play around.
There you go.
Right on.
What a homie.
Yeah.
What a homie. Wish someone do that on my birthday. Just cook the line for me all day.
Right? Man, what a good buddy to have. We're going to touch a little bit on partying here in the town of Banff. Do you think that like restaurant people just end up partying more? Or do you think it's more of a Banff thing? What are your thoughts on that? Like, do you think we all just come here partying and we kind of meet like-minded people in the restaurants and just send it to the next level?
Yeah.
It's like, it's all related. Like, we're in a small town. Everybody's partying. Maybe it's because their boss bought them a beer after work because they did a good job. And then that just trickled down into an entire evening's worth of partying because of that one free beer. Sometimes that beer is just because they showed up to work that day. And then it trickled into this absurd night of partying. And then Banff is just everybody's, well, obviously not everybody, but like a good amount of people every day are doing crazy stuff that they wake up and they're ashamed of. And by noon the next day, someone else has outdone them.
Yeah.
The rumors get like juicier by the day progresses, and they're like, whew, dodged a bullet there. Like,
thank God no one's talking about me anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, God,
yeah. Off the radar.
So it's like, yeah, so I guess it is kind of just, it's more of a, I mean, I always worked in restaurants and I guess I always drank a few beers after work. It's stressful, man. It is what it is. But like Marcel said, it's so easy out here when you've got your entire friend group going out to the bar tonight every night.
I think
You don't even need to make plans.
No,
you just go.
Yeah, you could like the three of us could go to the bar right now and see 40 people we know. You know what I mean?
There was a time in Banff where I didn't have a phone, where I just like knew where my buddies would be at, and I would either I would go to the Pump, then I would go to the Rose, then I would go to or the Magpie, and I would always see someone I knew. Like Magpie is one of the definite spots I used to frequent quite a bit, at least 2-3 times a week on my little town circuit. But yeah, I think you touched on a good point. I think it just always starts with, I deserve one or two after work. And I think eventually that just becomes going out every single night. And then you kind of see it as normal. Like myself, I kind of saw it like, I think before I quit, there was like 4 years where the only reason I missed a day was because I was too hungover from the night before and I couldn't get out of bed, So
yeah, it's rough.
Big shout out to Goosetronics in the chat. I did see the comment that he said he wanted to move back. This talk's making him want to move back. So
snap.
Maybe by the end of this combo, we'll have Goosetronics on a plane back out here to party.
There we go. We get him in real life.
But yeah, substance abuse definitely a big thing in Banff, and you know, one beer leads to maybe some powders, and maybe you're staying up all night and then trying to go to work the next day. I've lost a few jobs myself on that.
Oh yeah,
I think that's a pretty rare thing to keep the same job for the whole time that you've been here, man. Like I've jumped around quite a bit just due to my partying.
Well, that and yeah, it's a service industry, right? You're always just bouncing around. I mean, everybody knows everybody here. So if you lose a job, it's like your buddy's like, "Oh, I'll hook you up with a job for a few months while you find something, or just come down here." You know what I mean? You
just kind of make it work for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
So Marcel, have you had issues with substance abuse in the past? I think I saw a video from Movember that kind of talked about that a little bit.
Definitely. Since I was 18 years old, I think alcohol has always just been number one as an issue for me.
Okay.
And then over the years, I was basically very easily influenced by what's going on around me, and that I had a cocaine phase, I had a ketamine phase, I had a very long ketamine phase, and then the MDMA phase,
right.
And then like for the some of that stuff just like went away. And then some of that stuff, the people that I was doing it with went away. And then it just kind of goes away.
So that was just the crowd that you were in at that time, I guess, right?
In some cases, yeah. Actually, pretty much it was always like influence. I'm not saying that I was doing it because Steve A was just always here and I was doing it. It was like,
it's just part of the scene, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's not like you don't hang out with people because they're doing that. It's just like it just kind of is around, and you kind of, I don't know, you start looking for it after a while, looking for more people to hang out with, to enjoy that experience with, you know?
Yeah, and like, you know, it's
a big part of like how the community builds itself here. You know what I mean? Like I knew a lot of buddies when I was partying.
Oh yeah.
That was kind of our thing. That's what we did together, you know, partying, snowboarding, and then eventually the snowboarding became less and less, and the partying became more and more.
Well, there's not really many options in town for socializing outside of going to a bar. You know what I mean? Like we have the movie theater, we can go walk around the mall. I don't know. Like,
and I think for me, the big thing was I didn't particularly love my living situation. So when you don't love where you're living, you kind of spend more time out and about.
Goose says, I helped with all those phases. Then I went away. Then I went away, he says. Oh God, that's hilarious.
Wild. So yeah, fave substance. Mine was definitely booze as well. I think my booze led to everything else. That was kind of like, you know, they say weed is the gateway drug. I think alcohol is, because like, strangely enough, since I've stopped drinking alcohol, I haven't wanted to do cocaine.
Yeah.
Strangely enough.
And it's just like, you're like 8 beers in and somebody's like, oh, do you want to grab some? And you're like, well, I mean, I'm already like 8 beers in. I might as well just keep it going.
And then I can have 10 more beers.
Yeah, you're like, I'll be fine tomorrow. And then you're not. You're definitely not fine. I woke up this morning and was like, probably should have had those last 2 beers. But
I mean, we do talk about the negative side of partying, but we all have some pretty fun stories and some good times. Do you have any highlights from your partying days that you'd like to share with us?
One time.
Besides partying with Goosetronics?
Yeah, we can go on and on about that. But one time I had sex with a blue squiggly line.
Nice.
For real.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
This was the K phase.
Okay.
And just like, you know, it was the end of the night. Parties were winding down. Stuff started to happen. And then the next thing I know, that's all I could see. Everything was black except for this blue squiggly line. And it was real sex, but that's all I could see. That was it.
Wild.
Trying to blink and trying to make this shit go away. It just wouldn't. And I was just in the zone, and it just, I guess it worked out.
So positive experience then.
Very much so.
Yeah, nice.
Absolutely. Yeah.
For everybody out there,
Yeah.
We're not endorsing the use of drugs, but you can have some positive experiences from them if they're used correctly or incorrectly based on that. Kind of depends on your mindset on the thing.
That's hilarious.
It was a surprise.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty interesting experience for sure.
Any other, like, I don't know, I want to say like wild, just like massive house parties? Because I know
I've been at a couple parties at your place a few times.
Yeah, back in the day.
For sure. I've been in my place for a while now, but
not even like at the Blue House or
the hippie house.
The hippie house.
Oh man, do you want to tell us about the hippie house days or what? Any you remember?
I mean, like, it was pretty wild. The first time I went to the hippie house wasn't even a party. I just knocked. My friend told me they have a ramp in their living room. I was like, I'm gonna go skate that ramp, and I show up to the house at like 11 a.m. one Saturday or whatever it was, and I can hear like. I'm pretty sure it was a chainsaw. I was like, that sounds like a chainsaw, but like, I'm going to knock on the door. And this guy answers it holding a chainsaw. And he's like, oh, you're looking for Derek? I was like, yep. And he's like, oh, I think he's in bed. I'll go get him. He goes upstairs and he just kind of like comes back down. He said, yeah, Derek will be down in a second. Go ahead and skate the ramp, which is right there.
Nice.
And so I drop in, start skating this really like hilarious living room ramp. And all of a sudden the chainsaw fires up and this dude just takes the whole handrail off the staircase. That was it. Just chops it up to pieces, throws it out the front door. And then Derek came down and we had a sesh.
Why? What?
Nice.
What was the purpose of cutting the entire railing off?
So, okay, he didn't take the whole thing off. He took, I don't know, whatever, a third or the 2/3 of it off. And from what I could tell, it was basically so when they're running down the stairs, they could grab onto it and swing out like into the hallway and just like be at the bottom of the stairs faster, I guess.
Cool. Like jungle gym house type of thing.
Oh yeah, just mod like home renos 101. Just get the chainsaw out in the living room.
Yeah. Hey, let me ask you this. Would you ask that guy why he's doing that?
Absolutely not.
No way.
If somebody
Didn't cross my mind.
Knocking on the door of a house that has a chainsaw running inside of it is pretty bold in itself.
Oh yeah, buddy answers his door. It's like, come on in. It's like, God, I'm good, man. I'll wait for Derek out here.
A little backstory for those listening that maybe don't know about the hippie house. The hippie house is a house. I think I saw Goostronic say R.I.P. Hippie Mike. Was a house I think that was owned and that was meant to house artists. I don't know if you know any more about the backstory. This is kind of what I've heard rumors over the years that
Oh yeah.
the hippie house was meant to house artists, and over the years it was kind of one of the easier places to kind of pitch your tent and kind of stay for a little while. I knew a dude that actually lived in the back shed and didn't have heat, didn't have plumbing, lived there all year long. So it was kind of one of the here we go. My landlord was the same landlord as the hippie house from Goostronics. So yeah, they just kind of was, I don't want to say a squatter pad, but it was definitely a party house where you could go kind of after the bars. The basement was unfinished. I want to say like dirt floor, big parties, graffitied walls.
It was crazy.
They tore it down recently to build more apartments, which is kind of a shame. Well, kind of 50-50 needed, but yeah, it was definitely like, I feel like that was a time in Banff that if you came to Banff during that time, whether you're a tourist or a local, you heard about the hippie house. Yeah, some pretty wild times. I think I've seen you in there a couple times. Those were the tight pants days, I think.
The tight pants days.
The tightest of pants.
God.
Wild. So while you were partying, I remember I used to see you all the time partying with an owl. Leonard Decoy, I think the name was. You want to tell us a little bit about
that? Leonard was the younger brother of the OG owl.
Oh, really?
Was the OG owl the one we showed earlier?
No. It was an identical decoy owl.
Okay.
But Frederick was the first one. And basically obtained a decoy owl. As you do, and then
that's like to keep birds away from your garden or something.
That's
right?
it. Yeah. And I went camping, and this was probably at a time when all my phases were overlapping with each other. Yeah. And going camping, party camping. And we, yes, there it is. We were just getting ready to go. And basically I'm like, check out this owl. And then I had a plastic baby arm as well for some reason. And my friend Andrew was like, I've got this cool torch lighter. And then my friend Patrick was like, you should use the lighter to melt the owl and stick the baby arm to that. And it worked so crazy well that I've probably made like 6 of these things over the years.
Pretty sick. Like, I remember seeing you at the Hoodoo with it one time I remember seeing you skating down the street. It must have been like 3 or 4 in the morning. God knows what I was doing around. I see you skating with Leonard on a post, just going like, ooh,
like Mach 10,
ooh, and then skating. And you just happen to see me, and you just go, oh, hey, Dan. And then he just kept going. And then like, I think it's like from that day, I'm like, man, this is one of the most interesting people I've ever met in my whole life. Like,
Oh, that's crazy.
That night was actually, they let me into bars with that thing. Eventually, I lost Frederick. Actually, someone lost Frederick at the Revelstoke softball tournament. And then I happened to have a backup owl, and that became Leonard Decoy.
Nice.
And so either one of these, I was getting into bars in Banff just basically because bouncers knew me and they would just let me in.
For
with
sure,
them.
you go to the city, no one's letting you in with an owl. Like,
Yeah. No.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I got into one. I got to see Trampled by Turtles with, I think that was with Frederick, and that was sick.
Oh,
But
that's great.
so down in the Hoodoo, I straight up had a pocket full of googly eyes and a glue stick, and I was just rocking up to people and just having like a little sticky googly eye and just poking them and gluing the eye to their shoulder. And when they turn around and look at me, I just look at them and go, "What L?" and walk away. And like by the end of the night, all my friends are coming up to me being like, "Dude, there's googly eyes everywhere. Like, where are they coming from?" And
Everybody's
I was like,
freaking out.
"What L?" Yeah.
That's
Right.
hilarious.
I just keep
Yeah.
seeing googly eyes everywhere. man. Oh, that's great.
Ask Marcel about living in a van in Banff. Goosetronics. A little question from the chat here. Thanks. Actually,
there you
Goosetronics, I think that's the first question we've ever had from the chat.
Yeah, let's
which is
go.
the reason we have it. So you want to tell us about living in a van in Banff?
Yeah. It just made more sense than trying to find an apartment.
Apartments are expensive. Vans are cheaper.
And this was, I guess, what, like 13 years ago or something, 14 years ago.
Oh, damn.
My girlfriend at the time had to fork out the money, but then I paid her back pretty quick. I was proud of myself for that.
Nice.
And then, ended up living in that van for 5 years.
Jeez.
Never ran.
No. It never
Like
ran.
it would turn on, but I didn't drive it.
Oh, yeah.
And I had a roommate, my buddy Scuba, for 6 months or something. He came to town. That was like his first apartment in town was my van. Yeah.
You had two of these in there.
Yeah.
Oh, crazy. How'd that work?
I still have the van. It's
Oh, yeah.
it's like tricky. I'm a
That
dirt
same
bag.
van you have today?
No,
Oh, okay.
that's my mom's minivan.
Yes,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
right.
right. No, it's in my driveway. It's just parked there, not doing anything. But
The lake house.
the lake house,
The lake house,
yeah,
right,
the
the
cottage.
cottage.
It's
Yeah.
in the driveway for
cottage,
sure.
yeah.
Cottage
Just
drive.
Go hang out in the cottage for the weekend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, God, that's great.
What was the back to partying a little bit? What was kind of the moment where you knew you had to tone it back? Like enough was enough with the whole partying scene.
There was a bit of a final push after I quit drinking. Because, like I said, it was like just those, like, the trippy drugs were always fun, but, like, you can't really do those a lot. So they were never really a big issue. The cave's a different story, but, like, just, I don't know, let's say the sketchy stuff, just the stuff that makes you sweat for no reason, just kind of went away. Like it was never my favorite and it was never overly that fun. Like I would have to be drunk to do it. You know, I wouldn't just be like, you guys ready to rip this Molly? It's 4 p.m. and we're all sober.
Yeah.
Coffee's wearing off. Like
no doubt.
it was just, like lucky for me, it just, like I said, circumstances and just my own actual enjoyment of those drugs would just fade. And then that would be that. Not to mention something about blow and menthol cigarettes just got down my throat and made me gag for years. And then that's when I just stopped doing blow. And then you can't even buy menthols anymore in Canada.
No doubt.
It's been years, yeah.
R.I.P.
All right.
Menthols.
And then once I quit drinking, I just kind of had this like, well, shucks, man, I can really just go to town on the other stuff.
Yeah, fair.
And that just turned into like 6 months of like what inevitably landed me in the psych ward.
Oh, damn.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
So that was that was a bit of an eye opener, you know?
For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So you just kind of you had some family take you there.
Yes, I
Yeah.
was abducted from my room by my aunt. Like at the time, that's what it felt like.
At the time, not awesome, but looking back, probably pretty awesome.
It was so very awesome.
Yeah.
Like, love you, Auntie Janice.
Nice.
She just rocked up into my room at like 9 a.m. I had just finished my own tattoo session on my arm here
at 9 in the morning.
It was like 8:30 or like, yeah. So yeah, it was probably like 9. And I was basically like, oh, I better shut it down before I go to work at like 11 in the morning. So if that doesn't say enough about my mental health at the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, she just like, you know, we have a bit of a spiritual relationship together. And when she kicked my door open, she was just like, your cookum came to me in a dream and she told me that you're sick and I'm here to take you to the hospital. Wow. And it just kind of caught me it just caught me so off guard that I was just like, okay, let's get Auntie Janice to this, to the hospital. And then, yeah, I was like, you know, within 2 hours, I was strapped to a bed and on my way to Calgary.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty abrupt end then to the partying days for sure.
Yeah, 100%. And that was like, I don't know, maybe the night before was the last time I did anything other than weed. So
okay, well, congratulations, man. How long is that? You've been sober for how long now?
Off the booze was December 14th, 6 years ago.
Nice.
Jeez, good for you, man. Good for you. Yeah, that's crazy.
And then that ordeal was like mid-May when that went down. So I guess that would have been 2018. Yeah.
I can kind of relate to that too. When I quit drinking the first time, I didn't quit doing drugs. It was kind of I had kind of the same mentality, like, oh, how am I still going to be involved in the party? I still want to kind of hang out with all my friends.
Well,
I'm just not going to drink, but I'm going to do rails of whatever's around, you know?
That's how you get in trouble.
Yeah. Again, that led me back into a second kind of dip into alcoholism and all that stuff. I don't know, for myself personally, I know a good friend helped me out. So if you have any friends out there that are struggling with drugs and alcohol, don't be shy to give them a hand. You can always send them. I know my buddy sent me to the hospital here in Banff. It was a morning after partying and enough had been enough. And if anyone out there needs some help, go swing by the Mineral Springs. Any time of day, they always have a drug addictions person and a mental health person on staff. So
yeah, exactly.
Well, we got some funny stuff from the chat. Big ups Weed Crew. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Weed Crew these days.
Big time. I think everybody's a big fan of the Weed Crew now. Canada has become the Weed Crew, basically.
I would think so. I think kind of there's more of a shift in town, especially I think, is that maybe just because we're getting old and we like to be a little more chill than we were back in the day? Or is that like kind of trend? People are kind of getting out of drinking.
Right.
Both.
I think so, both. Yeah, I would think. Do you think mental health's a big issue here in the Bow Valley?
100%.
Yeah, I would agree with you there for sure.
I mean, there is no place on earth where mental health is not a big deal.
For sure.
But I think when we just have all these people here doing the same stuff in this, like, whatever, like the 20 to 18 to like 40-year-old range, it's like quite condensed. And I think people can really lose themselves quite quickly in just that everybody's here kind of doing the same thing.
100%.
And some people can really handle that stuff, which is crazy. And most people can't.
Right.
So it's a lot of people just trying to keep up.
Well, I think we've all seen it. Like, I thought I could handle it for years. I'm sure you thought you could handle it when you're in the midst of your party stage. Like, you think you're invincible. I think that's kind of part of it. And you make a good point with having all these people kind of experiencing those mental health, substance abuse issues at the same time in such a condensed place does amplify that problem in that peer pressure type of way where you want to be involved in the scene. You're probably going to the after parties. You probably want to stay up. And it kind of has that snowball effect.
You don't want to be the first one taken off from the party. You know what I mean? Like, especially when you're here and you're trying to make new friends and you're partying with new coworkers, and you know how it goes. It gets out of hand quick, man. Like, there's nothing you can really do about that, but you get bamfed real quick.
For sure. There is some resources in town. I know part of some legal stuff that I had to do was get drug and alcohol counseling here in the town of Banff. And I did some one-on-one sessions with a drug and alcoholic therapist. And I think it was cool. That was the first kind of my first exposure to mental health services and mental health help. And even just getting out there and talking to someone about it. Goose Tronics kind of touches on that here in the chat. He says, I think a lot of people hide it too. Since you're in a place where you are around your peers so much, issues get swept under the rug. That's it. Like, no one has family here. It's a lot of the times, like, it's my first time living by myself. So a lot of people come here with that, like, I can get away with whatever I want kind of attitude, right? And then your friends are egging you on. So it is kind of like the perfect powder keg.
It's like that Spider-Man meme. You do a lot of drugs.
Yeah.
You do a lot of drugs. Like, me, I do a lot of drugs.
Oh, it's crazy. Like it's so easy to get caught up in it here too. Like we said, everybody's partying every night. So what are you going to do? It's either you don't go hang out with your friends or you go hang out with your friends, get drunk and do blow till 4 a.m. It's like, there's no in between. And like I said, there's not really much else to do. Like, what are you going to go out and do?
Well, nowadays, what do you like to do now that you're not partying, Marcel?
Yeah. Well, I had a crippling hiking obsession. That was like,
Nice.
I'd been in town for years and years and years and years before. Like, I mean, I did Cascade probably 2009.
Cool.
And then I don't think I hiked another mountain other than Tunnel and Sulphur until like 2018.
Crazy enough, like same thing happened to me. I spent the first 10 years here partying my face off, too hungover to do anything. I think I only did Tunnel Mountain until Cascade was my first big hike when I first quit drinking the first time, which was probably like, I want to say 5 or 6 years ago.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's like, I think for anyone out there listening that wants to get out of partying, hiking is definitely a good place to not only get a workout in so you get a good night's sleep and be alone with your thoughts, which is, as someone who partied for over 10 years daily, that's one big thing you have to learn when you stop partying is how to be alone with your own thoughts, right? Like, that's a huge learning curve. At least it was for me.
Nice.
And hiking gives you a lot of time to kind of think about that. So
even when you go with a big crew, eventually everybody's just going to lock into that zone. Everybody's panting and wheezing, and it kind of like, like a chant, and like you just get in the zone, and it's like, an hour and a half goes by before anybody goes, I need a break. And then, you get back into the social aspect of hiking. And then, you go through everything in your head, and it like, when you're thinking about having to do that, it gets scary. But then when you're just in it all of a sudden and you're doing something rad, it's powerful.
Yeah.
I would agree with you there, man. Some of the hikes we've done here.
What was your favorite hike?
I mean,
or like
dude,
best view, I guess.
There's a lot of just real bang for your buck. That's kind of what I would go for. Like, I mean, I would just, if it was on the list, I'd go do it. But there's just one like Little Arethusa down in Kananaskis is unreal. Like,
crazy.
It's like you're in the trees for 20 minutes tops. You pop out of those trees and you're just somewhere else, and you're just there for the entire hike, which is, I forget, maybe like 4 hours round trip.
Oh, nice. That's not bad.
Little Arethusa, like yes, that would be my gold medal, taking the cake for bang for your buck. I mean, it's like an hour and a half to get there in your whip.
Yeah.
But like once you're out of the car and going, like it's
nice.
Little to no time.
Yeah,
it's
I love
fantastic
out there.
One of my faves in that area too. Tent Ridge is probably one of my faves. I did it last year for the first time, and it's like you're in the trees maybe 45 minutes, and then you climb the first ridge, and you're on the ridge the whole day.
Are you gesturing clockwise?
Counterclockwise.
You went counterclockwise.
Counterclockwise.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's a little scramble pitch that I was reading.
Right.
That you wanted to kind of go counterclockwise on.
Okay.
Yeah. You've done it the other way?
We did it clockwise.
Okay.
Our experience was basically viewless, except it was almost like there's just like a clear spotlight on the view that just kind of worked around us, and everything else was clouds.
Okay.
You just you couldn't see anything except for what this thing was letting you see. So I really have to go do it again. But it was a really neat experience. The whole time you're just like, I have no idea what I'm looking at. Like, I don't know if that's where we came from or if that's where we're going. And it's like, it was.
Well, we should go do it this summer, because that's definitely one that I will do every summer. If you do it kind of the other way, counterclockwise, as you turn back on the second half of the loop is when you're looking over Spray Lakes. I think it's Spray Lakes or Rawson Lake. I forget which one. One of the Kananaskis lakes. Anyways.
One of the Kananaskis
lakes. Anyways, Tent Ridge is what's up.
They did quite a bit of fishing out there, actually. It was pretty sweet. Just walking around out there. But
Other than that, hiking was a big thing for you. You mentioned earlier disc golfing is big since I never really I disc golfed a little bit when I was drinking, but like I've had rounds where I brought 24 beers with me or 12 beers with me, and I'm like falling down by
What's
the
in
end.
your bag?
Yeah, I don't really count that disc golf. I kind of
Putters.
serious about it when I quit drinking. So yeah, you've been disc golfing a lot.
A lot.
Nice.
Yes.
PDGA member.
I am a PDGA member. 21, 61, 83.
Nice. Knows the number by heart. That's pretty good.
Nice.
That was a bit of a stab. I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
Nice.
We spent some time on the disc golf course this summer, and I think maybe in the summer past, but I remember a couple months ago you sent me a little message about sending an email to, I think it was the mayor or the town of Banff to try to get a course in the town of Banff.
yeah,
Cool.
town of Banff. It was put on my table by Councillor Hugh Pettigrew that they will be voting on some more just outdoor awesome stuff that they'll be throwing money at.
Cool.
And the last time they did a vote, it was just like, or they talked about disc golf. They were like, nobody talks about disc golf. So this time, Hugh Pettigrew was just like, start writing some emails.
Cool.
So I just sent out a bit of a template to some homies. I put this onto Matt Riordan's plate, and just enough emails went through that it sparked the interest. It went through unanimously for the vote. Then they put together the package that is now in Parks Canada's hands.
Cool.
Their Parks Canada will be assessing this at the end of this year.
Okay, cool.
So all this green light stuff is now at a halt until November or December, I'm told. And then it'll be decided then what's going to happen next based on their approval.
Cool.
Where's the course proposed location?
So I was shown a couple different sites that was narrowed down to 2 different sites. One makes a heck of a lot more sense. It's between Cave Avenue and Middle Springs.
Okay.
That
cool.
slice of woods in there,
Yeah, absolutely.
to whatever extent, which that would make a lot of sense. But the other spot is up by sort of across from the Banff Center. Like there's Surprise
okay.
Corner, and then that goes up.
I feel like that would have a lot more wildlife implication than.
Oh, like wildlife would be a thing, but we're talking like throwing alongside of like multi-pitch sport climbing routes.
Yeah,
and
that's
stuff
probably
and like
not smart.
hectic, real hectic kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, secretly, I want to see what that disc golf course would look like.
Okay.
That would be like, I don't know. I would like. If I ever had to vote, like, I mean, no, I don't think it would come down to a vote. I'm pretty sure if Parks Canada says yes, they're just going to be like, it's because this makes sense, and they're going to pick, and that's super cool. But yeah, but yeah, it just seems like if it's going to happen, it's going to be between Cave Avenue and Middle Springs.
Cool.
Awesome.
That'd be
Big
a
shout
great
out to
spot.
Hugh Pettigrew. Big shout out to Matt Riordan. I'm assuming Matt Riordan will be the one designing the course. I know he's been doing some design in Alberta and a little bit into BC. Matt Riordan, for those that don't know, kind of spearheads the disc golf movement here in the Bow Valley and kind of Calgary area,
cool.
leading a lot of tournaments. Actually lived in Banff for a long time. He might be a cool guest to get on here to do like a disc golf only episode.
That'd be cool.
I
know George at work. He plays a lot of disc golf as well. He's out there a lot.
Disc golf's one of those sports. If you want something inexpensive to go out there and have a lot of fun, whether it kind of caters to all athletic types. Like you don't have to be in super good shape as long as you can walk down the fairway, pick up your disc and throw. You can have a good time out there with your friends. So if you're thinking about trying a new sport, getting outside, getting some fresh air, give disc golf a try for sure. You can pick up your disc at where's that place in Camware? Couple different sporting goods stores. Pick up a few discs, a putter, a driver, and a mid range, and get out there, start throwing.
Yeah, switching gears. Sports Experts.
Sport Expert.
And Trailhead Sports up at the Nordic Center.
Yeah,
cool.
Definitely. So you can get your disc there, and maybe we'll see you guys out on the course this summer. You started playing tournaments recently. How's you having a good time doing that? Is it competitive? What's the vibe like at a disc golf tournament?
I don't play in a like hugely competitive league. MA2 is what I enroll in, and basically people are helpful You can joke around,
Nice.
like as long as you're not bugging people, you just shut up when they're going to throw and be respectful. And there's lots of rules. My first tournament was like just people who knew the rule book wall to wall and were so fun to play with. We were all just kind of in the same level and skill level. And then you just go, what do I do? And they're like, oh, well, it states here on rule page 1A, 7B, paragraph 4, like, that's cool, man. Don't worry about it. Or, and then like other times you're just, a couple people are like, what do we do? And then basically just agree to be like, all right, well, like,
just play it this way.
Whatever, we'll just play it out.
Nice.
Then there are, I forget the name or the word, but there's like, if everybody's unsure, then you sort of play two options.
Okay.
And then you bring the outcome to the head guy, gal.
And they will tell you how to score.
And they'll be like, yes,
happened.
the option B was the right way. You keep that score then.
Cool.
Yeah. So, but basically, MA2 is a great entry level, it's just a great, people are awesome. That's been my experience so far.
Nice.
But then there's also MA3. So if you're just like thinking about checking it out, you don't know where you're at, like that's where you go and you're going to have a good time. Like what I've seen, everybody in that category is just like, just
having a laugh.
Having a good time.
Nice.
They're just like, just having a good time. That's what it's about.
So
Being
you're
serious about the sport, but
Right.
having a good time.
So you'd recommend that for a beginner then? Like just somebody getting into it?
I mean, I wouldn't say like, here's your first disc, take one throw, go sign up for this tournament.
Yeah.
You want to get some sort of you'll know right away where you're at and what exactly you're going to want to do. And then basically I would just say this, the second you think that you might want to play a tournament, it's time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Nice, because I've like been playing for years and never played a tournament. And that's kind of the thing that's kind of always kept me away is how stickler is the rules going to be. But like, you don't want to go there and make a fool of yourself. You want to go there and have fun. And it sounds like people are there to help you and kind of grow the sport. So yeah, if you're thinking about giving it a rip,
I've never been.
You've never played?
I've never played.
We'll have to get you out there.
Oh yeah,
dude.
I'll go this summer.
Right on. We'll take you out for sure.
Man.
I'm usually out there at least once or twice a week when I'm not on the ball golf course. Ball golf's been taking a little more of my time lately, but disc golf still sits at my heart for sure.
Golfing trips,
Ball golf.
What's your favorite course around here? Where are you playing mostly? You playing in the Calgary area? You playing in the Bow Valley?
Yes. Yes.
Yes to all.
Yes. Statistically, Three Sisters. I played 3 billion rounds at Three Sisters just last year alone.
There you go.
3 billion.
So
cost me nothing.
You pretty much finished the course then.
I destroyed it.
Yeah. There you go.
What's your best score at Three Sisters?
Oh, it's -7.
-7. It's
-7
a
at
9-hole
Three
course.
Sisters.
So for those of you that don't know the sport of golf, that's 7 strokes under on 9 holes. That's a tremendous score.
No doubt.
Thank you.
That's like birdie on almost every hole.
Everyone but 2.
Yep.
But Nordic's the real big bossy
Nice.
guy that you want to be dealing with. If you want to be standing tall, doing good on Nordic is just it's such a good feeling. Like taking one stroke off your score and you're just like, yeah.
Big time. I think like Nordic's got the biggest learning curve. First round you'll play at Nordic, you'll be like 30 strokes over, double par over on every hole. And then kind of as you get to learn the hole, you hone your throws, you kind of know which throw to play where.
Right.
You can get them down. Like single digits is always really good. I'm always happy when I have a single digit, like 10 under or 9 or under is always a great day for me at the Nordic. Never played under. I think 3 is my best at the Nordic, which I was actually, it's a pretty wild story. It was just before, it was right after I quit drinking the first time. So I was still kind of doing drugs. And I want to say 4 Percocet before my round.
Oh, no.
And I threw a 3 over. It was wild. I don't know what happened, but I was hungover as hell. I took some Percocets and I was like, obviously doing drugs, not telling my friends. No one that was with me knew that I was fucked up. But
that happened.
Yeah, shot a 3. I haven't been able to replicate it since. I think I came close with a 4. Nordic is the big boy course.
It's hard. It's a hard course?
Yeah, man, big time.
Oh, yeah?
It's like, I want to say 4-kilometer walk or a 5-kilometer walk as well. So It's like kind of a nice walk in the woods as you're throwing. It's a good workout. Definitely go check it out. The Nordic, free to play.
Oh, sweet. That's all right then. You still doing the skating?
Yes.
Nice.
Yep. I think what had me bite on to disc golfing so hard was that it is little to no bodily strain.
Yeah. Fair.
And having been on a skateboard for 28 years this June, you know, I'm nervous. Like every time I go to the skate park, I'm like, am I going to really get into it this time? Like what's going to tweak? What's going to whatever? Disc golf, you don't have to think about that. But I don't ever want to just walk away from skateboarding ever. So last year I had a mediocre summer.
Cool. Okay.
And this year I just started bringing my discs to the skate park. So I'd skate for half an hour and then fire 60 discs off into the ball diamonds, come back, skate for another hour. Yeah.
Nice,
man.
Yeah.
So mixing both the passions up together.
Just baiting myself.
Oh man, the park here is so good too, though.
Magic.
I love it.
Mhm.
We got so lucky with that park, dude.
Has skating always been just kind of something you did on your spare time? Like I know you got the Rude Boys shirt on. Do you ever do anything with them? Or big shout out to Rude Boys, by the way.
Let's go.
Rude Boys actually sponsors me. I'm on the team for skateboarding with Rude Boys.
I thought so.
Right.
That's cool.
And what does that entail? Video parts?
There's zero obligations. Just
Nice.
Just whatever. Be a dude and skateboard, and that's all they ask. And I will always be thankful for that because it's the coolest opportunity I've ever had. And I think that was one of the magical things that happened when I moved to Banff. Like within the year, I became sponsored.
That's sick.
Yeah, like
I know that's like
That's so sick.
that's like every kid's dream when you start skating. You're like, oh, dude, I'm gonna be sponsored like big time. I'm gonna do this for the rest of my life. And then you're like, well, I actually have to get a real job. But
yeah, and it's just kind of. You know, sometimes I like to consider myself a bit of the skate park ambassador in town.
I think like a lot of people would know you as that for sure.
Yeah. Thanks. Nice.
Yeah,
I just like it's awesome. And I mean, I can be a cranky old man at the skate park, but I know not to just yell at kids and, you know, maybe go and talk to the parents and be like, Joe, sorry, just so you know, I'm going to like let them know that that's not a cool place to stand and, you know, like get in with the folks before you're just like, get off of this. you know, you're freaking out at kids. And because they shouldn't be just standing there.
For sure.
You know, they shouldn't just be standing there. And it is sketchy that's a two-way street, you know, it's sketchy for both of us.
Yeah.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. When the park opened, did you do lessons with the kids there or something? Isn't that something that I saw?
I think I was asked to do it. I think they asked me to do it, and then I showed up for a couple of this. Yeah, I guess I did, but not really.
Yeah.
Maybe like a Sunday or two.
Yeah, I was just kind of hit me as we were talking. I was like, I'm pretty sure I saw some
yeah,
posts or something like that from back.
I
in the
know,
day.
like I think Chu and Abby were kind of running that sort of thing, and then I really just flaked on it and just did my own thing. But
yeah, fair.
So. There's other ambassadors.
Yeah. Well, big shout out to Rude Boys, man. That's a pretty cool situation. Like, as far as sponsorships go, that sounds like a pretty cool one to have.
I feel so cool, man.
Nice.
Yeah. Thank you, Rude Boys.
That's sweet. Well, what do you, moving on to something a little different, what's your take on the old pedestrian zone here?
Yes.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah, what's your take on it?
So, I mean, for me, really, I don't really have like an opinion that affects like the people's opinion on what's right and wrong and shutting down the shops and who's making money off a patio, that stuff. For me, it's a lot more frivolous of an opinion. So when I skateboard to work, my 7-minute walk becomes a 3-minute skate in traffic, which I can predict. With pedestrians, you cannot predict the pedestrians. Like, you know, like the skate park etiquette, that kid shouldn't be standing there. This is a free-for-all.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
People are allowed everywhere, and it's not conducive to my 3-minute skate to work. So my plight is basically just like, man, I don't want my 3-minute skate to work to take maybe 4 minutes. Like, like I'm talking, those are real numbers.
I mean,
so really, I don't give a shit.
Great.
Like it is what it is, and I don't know. Maybe let's move the streets into the restaurants.
Let's drive cars in the restaurant.
Just right through the park in there.
Yeah, just switch it completely. Put the restaurants on the street and have cars park in the restaurant.
Have one street. The cars have to drive down the back alley and pick up their takeout boxes
from the back door
that
of
are
the
made
restaurant.
from lettuce because we can't have any biodegradable stuff. And they get these floppy lettuce bags with their takeouts from the back alley, and you have to drive and you have to park by the river.
And then hope that your lettuce isn't all warm and hot.
We should not allow people
it
to
will
exit
be.
their vehicles if they bring their vehicles to the town of Banff. I think that's
it.
That's it.
That's the trick.
Yeah, you're not allowed.
Crack the case.
Yeah, that'll solve the traffic right there.
If
If
you
come
bring
to
your
Banff,
vehicle
yeah.
to the town, you cannot exit it.
Is the lettuce bag included in the park pass?
No, you have
No,
to pay
extra.
75 cents for the lettuce bag.
75 cents.
bags. We got to charge for bags now. It's a single usage bag. So
Don't tell Robbie.
yeah. Oh God. Oh, the bag situation. That was great.
So, where do you see yourself in 5 years, Marcel? You plan on sticking around the Bow Valley? You plan on leaving? What's your take on that? Housing crisis affect you at all?
I mean, it gets foggy after about a year, but 5 years, I'm thinking of starting a YouTube channel where I'm jacked now at 5 years.
For sure.
And I'm bench pressing homeless men before giving them haircuts and then a lap dance.
You're gonna go viral
Period.
for sure. How do you not go viral?
Oh, that's great.
I just can feel the world like waiting for this. So I'm just going to make them wait another 5 years and then pounce and then
Sweet. Yeah, send us a link,
Sick.
Spud, once the page is up. Yeah.
you guys can come do your show in my shower.
Sweet. Yeah, we'll broadcast from the shower while you bench press homeless guys. I'm into it, dude.
Goosetronic says dibs on the first lap dance. I think you probably have a few takers on that one. But yeah, I think give Marcel a big follow. I think I saw when you posted the other day said I'd never want to be one of those guys that asked for a like and follow, but here I am asking for a like and follow. So don't just give us a like and follow. Give Marcel a like and follow too.
Yeah, give everyone a like. You know what? Check on your homies. Give them a like and follow.
For sure.
Yeah.
Give their mental health a like and follow as well, and check out on your homies. I know we've been kind of making light of the partying thing, but yeah, if you do need some help, those resources are there in the town of Banff, or reach out to us here at the pod. We'd love to point you in the right direction, especially myself. Love to help a homie get off the sauce.
Let's go.
Let's move into some Overheard and Banff posts here. Marcel, you want to join us in going through some of these?
Yeah, my New Year's resolution was to troll more on Overheard, but
It's definitely part of what makes Overheard the thing. Now, our first post here.
Oh, this one.
This one was cross-posted. I didn't only see it on Overheard and Banff. I saw it on Bow Valley Connections. This person was real fired up. The post reads, yesterday when walking my puppy, she ate a leftover joint off the ground. She got so ill that I literally thought she was dying and I was very scared. She peed herself in her crate, which she's never done. Her eyes were rolled in the back of her head. She was breathing weakly and she wouldn't get up or eat, which is unheard of. When she did try to get up, she kept falling on the floor. I had to take her to the vet where they gave her IV fluids and charcoal for her stomach. Moral of the story is please dispose of your joints in the trash as they are toxic to dogs. Now, don't you live with a dog? I've seen you post a lot of dogs. What's your take on this?
there's a couple dogs in the house, yeah.
Nice.
I'm a weed smoker. I generally roll mine with a little piece of cardboard in it, so I don't really consider my joints to be super biodegradable. I usually try to keep them in my pocket or throw them out, but I didn't know that it was that toxic to dogs.
Yeah, I
Like,
had no idea.
when I first started smoking weed in the early 2000s, you'd be hanging out with someone, they would like blow smoke into the dog's face and stuff, thinking it was super funny, but this sounds a lot more serious than that.
Yeah, no doubt. I saw another post. I think it was about a year ago too, and it's just like because weed's legal now, right? Like you can just walk around and smoke it. Whereas, I mean, back in the day, you had to be a little more sneaky about it. Like you're not just walking down Main Street smoking a joint, but I don't know, man. It just seems like
For sure. In the comments,
I've seen a few of these like where people were like, my dog got like seriously effed up from
yeah,
eating a joint.
like-
But I'm like how? I don't know.
Well,
They're
the
just, like,
comments are pretty divided. I think one dude, Joe Banff, which I don't know if it's a real person or if it's just a troll page. He's like, "Well, keep an eye on your dog, man. I'm like, why are you letting your dog eat dirty joints off the ground?" I was like, the dogs are gonna eat stuff off the ground. Like I don't think it's on.
Yeah, like try to stop your dog from eating a joint, dude. Like
Dogs
have
eat
you-
homework, bro.
Yeah, they eat everything. They eat everything, dude.
Mhm.
It's not even funny, but no, that's pretty serious. Like that dog sounded like it
So
was right.
here's
messed up.
my thing: is this is exactly what happens to me when I eat too much weed on purpose. Exactly like this.
Yeah, I mean that's a pretty good point.
I think she just had a really big dog. I know it's probably scary, but
I think this happened to her, and she's just kind of like, so this happened to a friend of mine, and now she's just like trying to get some WebMD people like just being like, well, okay, and she's like, man, really shouldn't have eaten that joint off the ground.
She peed in her dog's crate. I swear the dog's never done that before.
Never, ever, yeah.
Oh, the comments were like pretty divisive. There's like 53 comments on that.
Well, I think like 30 of those comments are Joe Banff being like, well, fucking watch your dog, and then all the other people are like, shut up, Joe Banff. Like,
right. I like the biodegradable guy. The guy talking about how the people throw them on the ground because they're biodegradable. They're supposed to be there.
I mean, it is an argument. I would argue that they're not supposed to be there. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. It's like they're going to be there for 3 years.
Yeah. It's
Or
not like
until a dog eats them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or until this chick eats them.
Yeah, it's got to be expensive to bring a dog owner to the vet. I'm sure they probably charge extra for that.
Yeah, dog owner.
Yeah,
I mean, that's got to be at least double the price. I wouldn't want to be paying for that outright.
Just these are all jokes here, of course.
Yeah,
we're all just joking on a very serious matter. We hope your dog is fine.
Oh, yeah, big time.
Moral of the story, yeah, man. If I'm a joint smoker, just put them in an ashtray, put them in your pocket.
Yeah, put them back in your pack, whatever.
There's actually these little things I've seen online. One of the comments is a little thing that you could buy on Amazon. It's like a roach pocket for your pocket.
Oh,
Keeps the smell
yeah.
off. Get yourself one of those if you're a weed smoker, man. It costs you $2. Save a dog from a pretty sick trip.
Yeah, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Well, on to this next one. This one was actually friggin' wild, dude. I read through this and was like, what the heck is going on? And then the comments. Oh, let's go to it. Yeah, so this one is pretty gnarly. It says, our car just got stolen in Banff approximately 2 hours ago. GMC Yukon. If anyone happens to see it in Banff or Canmore, please let me know. License plate is blah, blah, blah. I blurted out, obviously. Police are notified, but just in case anyone happens to see it. So this looks like it, I think, got stolen from a hotel, they said?
Yeah, we're going to get into the comments in a little bit, but I guess someone stole this car from a hotel, which you don't really see that super often here in this town of Banff.
No.
Pretty low crime area, I would say, except for like we touched on other episodes, people
for GTA, yeah, like no one's like, it's not a Grand Theft Auto place. Like, I don't think a lot of people are coming here and like, oh yeah, let's go steal a 91 Safari camper van conversion. That'd be sweet. Sell it for like $2,000.
I think the Bow Valley is definitely more known as a GTB place.
Yeah.
Grand Theft Bicycle.
Yeah.
Especially those Canmore bikes, you know.
I don't leave my bike nowhere.
This is the only place I've seen, like, especially the Canmore buy and sell, where you have like bikes that are more expensive than vehicles that are up there. Like, oh, it's all a $35,000 mountain bike. It's all carbon's got a freaking
it's nuts,
drives
man.
itself.
Oh yeah, it's self jumping. It self levels in the air. When every time you go off a kicker, it's just like laser guided. It's insane. It's like
airbags.
Oh yeah, airbags built in, stereo. It's got power windows, power locks, lots of trunk room.
It better
lots of
if
trunk
you can
space.
do something else for $35,000.
But no, check these comments out though. They're wild. This first one.
So yeah, the comments kind of dig into a little bit more of what happened here. Let's switch over to that.
So yeah, check this out, dude.
So this one says, I'm pretty sure this car raced past me on the highway towards Canmore. It then switched 3 lanes, nearly getting hit by a truck and just making it onto and taking the Harvey Heights turnoff. And that's the last I saw of it. I couldn't believe how stupid they were driving. And if it was stolen, that would explain why. Unfortunately, I didn't get a license plate, so I can't say 100% if this is the same vehicle, but it's definitely the same model. This was around 345. Hope this helps. So it looks like someone spotted this vehicle.
That's wild. Buddy just like switches 3 lanes, no signals, cuts across everybody. Like that was probably that car.
I think the next slide, if you want to cut to it, gets a little bit more into the story.
Oh, yes, right.
So this one here, it says, how did it happen? Was it left running? Genuinely curious, not throwing shade. And then the next comment is the poster and goes, it was locked and parked in a hotel car park. So we have camera footage, but not great footage. Yeah. How do you have cameras in a hotel, especially in a hotel that aren't good quality? Like what's
2022, man?
Seriously.
Like, it's like people posting pictures that are just blurry as hell. I'm like, what cell phone are you using, man? Like, how do you take a picture like this bad? It doesn't make sense.
It's not a bodega. It's a parking
It's
lot.
like, and you think like security cams just making better resolution, man. We're trying to catch people doing illegal shit with it, and you want to give me 480 by 480? Like, it just doesn't make sense, man. It's insane, but
It's pretty crazy. So yeah, cars being stolen from hotel parking lots. That's you don't really hear about this in Banff too often. You kind of got to get to these posts as they come up on Overheard in Banff, because there's no other way that you're getting this news. I'd love to know which hotel it was taken from. That would be pretty cool.
Well, and like just a weird vehicle to steal. Like, it's like, you're not even stealing something of like high value. It's, you know what I mean? Like, no offense to the car owner, but it's not a Lamborghini. You know what I mean? Like,
I feel like certain make and models are probably just easier to take. Like, I don't know.
Well, maybe if it was older, probably easier to hotwire, right?
Oh, my mom had one of those.
Oh, yeah.
The screwdriver in the ignition.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, my dad had a pair of pliers in an old Buick. That was that was the ignition. I think it was like busted right out. He just had a set of pliers in there. He just twisted them. Yeah, it was
wild.
Yeah, and he drove that thing around for a while too when I was a kid. That was great.
Back in the 80s, you just wouldn't even be questioned. Just like, yes, the ignition is broken, officer.
Yeah, I just got a set of needle nose pliers in there, turn it on and off. It's like anybody can take it. You just walk in, turn the pliers. Like, it was great. Oh,
moving on here. So yeah, make sure you lock your vehicles.
Yeah, lock your vehicles
everywhere.
Oh, yeah, this one is actually pretty cool. I saw this one posted this week. It was sick.
Yeah, the next one here is a post from Wild Bill Pato. No googly-eyed Pato. We should have put some googly eyes on the picture. That would have been pretty sweet.
Must have been young Pato.
Young Pato before the googly eyes grew in. The post reads, "Now, I've always said horses were smarter than people and a shade less argumentative too. And there's lots of folks right now arguing about all kinds of things in this little mountain town. Please, let's all remember to be open-minded and neighborly." It's got a picture of Banff Avenue here. I think he might be referencing the petition we were speaking about last week.
Yeah.
So I think that's the most polarizing issue in the town right now. The post continues to read, "I love this old photo from Banff Indian days from about 1923, taken by Dan McCowan. Only a couple of cars on Banff Avenue then. While the Stony Parade stands steadily along the boulevard, so much has changed and so much hasn't. With all those jagged little peaks, as indifferent as always. Happy Friday, friends." Now, the first thing that jumps out at me from this picture, no patios.
Wow. No patio. You're right. There are no patios. Are we sure? Nope. That's confirmed. There are no patios.
Definitely no patios.
I see one porch.
Pretty cool old-timey photo, though, from Wild Bill Pato. I love seeing these old photos. This was taken, like the post said, 1923.
I want to know who runs this page.
It's got to be someone maybe working for the museum or something, I would get.
Maybe. Wild Bill Pato page. Hit us up.
Yeah, hit us up. Maybe if we can have you on, that'd be pretty cool to have whoever runs that page.
Because they've obviously got access to these crazy old photos. Like
for sure. So give us a shout, Wild Bill Pato. We'd love to stick some googly eyes on you and put you on camera.
Just the big ones. So.
I'm just kidding, of course. But yeah, super cool stuff. Give Wild Bill Pato a follow too if you want to see some cool old Banff content.
Oh, hell yeah.
Big thing to look like. It kind of looks pretty similar to Banff Ave right now. Of course, the buildings are very different,
but completely different.
It almost looks like two lanes on each side. You know what I mean? And like you have that middle divider, like we still have. Pretty cool stuff.
Look at those like old Model Ts, hey, just chilling. And like you got to think these people that had these cars, like that was a ton of money back then to buy one of those.
For sure. I wonder what they would think about the pedestrian closure.
Well, as you can see, it's closed for pedestrians. Look.
Yeah, there's only two cars, so I guess pedestrians did reign supreme back then.
Yeah, they definitely had the right of way.
For sure.
Oh, I can guarantee that. All right, well, moving on. We had a post last week from one of our favorite little shops that was the best sushi in town.
The shop sells dope. It's awesome.
All right, so we're back with Best Sushi a week later.
Banff Best Sushi. We have the results. So I was there yesterday purchasing some cannabis. Sushi Bistro's got a whopping 7 votes. Sushi Train with a close 6. Hello Sunshine 3. Arashi to go 1. Tama Teriyaki 1 or 2. And 1 brave soul voting for the IGA. You should have to put your name on your vote, I think.
I actually have IGA sushi in the fridge right now.
You're the one?
No, I didn't vote.
Yeah, right.
I was just hungover and I really wanted sushi and it was there and I just said screw it. So I'm gonna have some IGA sushi tonight. I wish it was Sushi Bistro because that was my vote last week.
Okay, Sushi Bistro, nice.
Marcel, what do you think?
For me, it's the Sushi Train.
Nice.
But
Train guy.
basically because it has redefined what sushi is to me. And I can go in there and devour 2-3 plates of sushi with 7 minutes.
Time is a big
and
thing
get
for you,
to
right?
work.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
When it comes to getting to work.
Very time oriented guy.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, but that's it. So like I feel like Sushi Bistro has superior quality sushi,
Nice.
but I don't have time for that.
Fair.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Nobody got
one
time.
thing to highlight is your pre-work routine has gotten a lot healthier over the years, I would say, from tattooing at 9 a.m. to getting a couple plates of sushi and skating. I think that's a much better way to go for sure.
That's actually good, man. I never get food on the way to work, I guess, because I work in the kitchen and it's early in the morning.
Yeah, you're eating all day back there, probably, man.
Yeah, I get in there, get some cereal, and then we'll have like fried chicken and it's like some fries, and then a couple pizzas, and then snack on some stuff, maybe some Caesar salad.
Eating like kings back there. Eating like kings.
Oh yeah, we get treated good, dude. The cooks, like, that's the most I've ever been hooked up as a cook ever in my entire life.
Big shout out.
Let's go.
Our final post here we got is one that was on Overheard in Banff as well. Let's cut to it.
Oh yeah, this one. I want to hear a song that you think perfectly represents your feelings about this town, be it good or bad. First comment, someone put Swing Life Away, Rise Again. It's not a bad jam.
Good jam, but like pretty sad. I think I would give Banff a bit of a happier tone for sure.
I don't know, man. It's like, it's super bittersweet for me. I couldn't pick a song because I didn't know if I wanted to pick something just like brutal metal, or actually, you know what? In the summer, I would say, what's a song by Era? Where they have a line that goes, "Fuck it, I'm done. This is a waking nightmare." That's how I feel trying to walk down Banff Ave. Like, let's say July 2nd through October 22nd. That's how I feel. What's you got a choice here, Marcel?
I've got way too many flooding into my mind right now. It's basically one big jam. I would need some time. I'm bad with this stuff. I'm like, I don't have a favorite band. Well,
I hear you.
But like, yeah, there's no way I could just think of a song right now that I would be happy to put forth.
I've been thinking of one. My first one that came to mind, obviously, is one by Eric Clapton, "Cocaine." There you go. The other one that I kind of had as a backup, because I thought maybe one of you guys would beat me to it, was "Walking on a Dream" by Empire of the Sun. I think that's one that I love blasting on a nice summer day, walking down Banff Ave. That kind of puts you on top of the world. There's nothing better.
For some reason, when I go hiking, I just sing "She'll Be Coming Around the Mountain When She Comes." I don't know why. That's just like, it just gets stuck in my head every time I'm
That's
hiking.
a dangerous one to get stuck in your head. I remember the first time I did Cascade, I was listening to some Electric Light Orchestra the day before. I don't know if you guys have heard ELO, an old disco band.
Oh, yeah.
And the song "Turn to Stone." Now I'm walking up Cascade and I'm looking at rock after rock, and I just have "Turn to Stone" in my head for like 8 hours. It was a great hike. Painful experience.
painful experience.
Yeah, like it was a long day. Made for a long day.
I don't know, man.
Sure.
Like, it's so hard to pick one song because it depends what time of year.
True.
Summer, middle of the summer, like when you're trying to get to work, like Marcel said, and it's just absolutely insane shit show downtown. You might pick a different song. Like when his skate turns into a 4-minute song, that might turn into a blast beat song real quick. You know what I mean? So
depends kind of, I think, time of the week too. Like if it's a Saturday, like I know I'm going into Anarchy, so I got something a little bit more aggressive, maybe a little bit more metally.
Yeah,
Children of Bodom, something like that.
Oh yeah, some
get
children.
real hyped up. If it's going to be like a chill day, there's one that I listen to, like that Bomb Bomb song,
Yeah,
that real stoner song.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
That's for my chill night.
That's a good one. Yeah, I want to know. Oh, there we go. P Canada, Gob Soda. That's a fucking great song too.
Gob, man, I haven't heard Gob in a long time.
Did they play here? I think Figgy said he saw him.
Big shout out to Figgy bringing the bands to the town of Banff. They had a big show last night. I think the Mad Caddies. I saw some videos. From that looked pretty.
It was
wild.
Mad Caddies in Belvedere. That was. I kind of wanted to go down, but
it was a good time.
Yeah, are you there?
Yeah. Huh?
Yeah, they're always good, man. Belvedere guys are awesome. I did sound for them at Rosencrown when I was doing sound there still. Super cool guys. They've been in the industry for so long, man. They've been around forever, and they absolutely kill it.
something we're going to dive into some future episodes as well as the music scene in the town of Banff. So yeah, if you're involved in some music, don't be shy to give us a shout.
Gob's bassist used to be a hairdresser in town back in the day, apparently.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that true?
I think he was a part of a band called Archimedean Groove.
Archimedean Groove. Why does that sound familiar?
Because they're from Banff.
They were in
Yeah.
Banff.
Yeah, good point.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Big shout out to Archimedean Groove.
All right. Well, Goose is coming out to BC this summer to play a gig in Banff, he says.
Nice.
It's gonna
Big
be
Goose
coming out
Tronics.
this summer. Nice. Let's
We'll
go.
have to all
Goose.
get together and go see Goose spin some beats for sure.
Oh, heck yeah. I'll go. I got to start getting some DJ events here soon. We've got some good stuff in town. Like, there's some pretty good stuff going on.
It's starting to blow up a bit. I think
Yeah.
we're seeing some bigger names, some bigger acts being booked at Melissa's.
They're
Different
killing it,
promoters are kind of stepping up to the plate and bringing us some real good stuff these days. So
they're killing it, man. That
big
place,
shout out to them.
Since they took
D12.
that over, since they took Mel's over, it's friggin' awesome, man. Like, the shows that they've had there are just nuts.
Yeah.
And like we had the interview with Bunny there, and I was saying, like, we've never been treated that well as a band. And like, I personally have been playing in bands since 2002, like live anyways, and never been treated that well.
It is the
anywhere.
premier venue if you want to, put a show on in Banff.
Oh, it's
You're doing
great.
it at Mel's for
And
sure.
You can get the people packed in there, man. Like, I got a decent sized cap too, right? So it's cool, man. We're getting a little bit of a better music scene now.
Definitely. I think over the years it's gotten much, much better. You'd be kind of hard pressed to find any type of music, live music back in the day until, I don't know, like Wild Bill's did some shows, but not to the caliber that I think we're seeing these days.
Well, besides Rosencrown, and Rosencrown is great. I love Rosencrown, but for bigger bands, it's not really like an
100%.
easy spot to set up, right? Like, so.
I would call it a more intimate venue. For sure.
Big time. I love going to shows there. I love playing shows there. It's awesome. I work there. I mean, it's a great spot. But yeah, Mel's is just, they have that venue, right? They've got the stage for the bigger bands, and
Yeah, and like the whole soundboard and everything. I guess Rose has that too, but yeah, it depends what you're in for. Are you in for a big venue show or a small kind of quiet show?
but then again, I've seen some pretty big shows at Mel's or at
Rose,
at
yeah, for
Rose.
sure. They
Oh,
have
just
put on.
packed out, because when Belvedere played there, it was just stacked. You couldn't even move in there.
We'll have my boy Pete on one of these days, that we could talk all about the Rose and Crown and the crazy parties that they've had there. So,
Oh yeah, that'll be
big
great.
time. We'll save a whole episode for that.
Oh,
But I
geez.
think on that note, I think that's all that we got for today. We want to give a big thanks to Marcel for joining
Hell
us,
yeah.
sharing a bit about his life and his experience in Banff. I think it's one that not only is hilarious, but sheds some light on the dark and the light side of living in Banff for sure.
Yeah, and he's kind of a local legend. Like, don't let this guy fool you. He people know who he is.
I think local legend would be probably the perfect
Local
way to
legend,
put it.
yeah.
He would never tell you that, but
No. He's
yeah.
too modest, but he is.
People know me.
People know me.
So yeah, give him a like and follow on his social medias if he's trying to become a social media bodybuilder, benching naked men. So keep your ear to the street for that.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, we'll plan that episode. We'll have to get that rolling in the works. I think we can probably fit all of this in a bathtub. We should be fine.
Right on. Big thanks to Goosetronics and everyone that's joined us in the
Thanks,
chat
guys.
today. Definitely our most interactive episode as far as the chat goes.
Oh,
So
hell
thanks
yeah.
for being
Thanks,
here with us today, guys. Next week we got a bit of a more serious episode. We're going to be talking about the Fire Smart program and all the prescribed or not prescribed Fire Smart burns, because those are two different things. We'll touch on that next week.
Right.
We got Louis in, one of the contractors that's actually doing the burning of the smoke that you're seeing,
he's
basically.
hilarious.
Yeah, we got him in for
Great
an
guy.
interview yesterday. We'll be playing that for you live next week and touching on some stuff a
Yeah.
little bit more serious on the town of Banff. But on that note, thanks for joining us this week. Marcel, anything else you want to add?
Fuck no. Thank you so much. That was a blast. I'm super clammy.
I hear you. Thanks, buddy.
Right on, guys. And just like every week,
See you
see you
next
next
Tuesday.
Tuesday.